Getting beat up by 9 guys in Syracuse, to me, there's not a whole lot of shame.
Welcome to the Heel to the Face podcast.
And this right here,
with your hosts, Jarod Wicks, Brandon Icebreaker Clements, and Paul Boy Green Esden.
It doesn't matter what your name is. And that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold
I have received an email.
Don't forget to email the show at heeltotheface@hotmail.com.
Best there is, the best there was, or the best there ever will be.
Brett screwed Brett. Because it's what's best for business.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. The champ is here. Oh yeah, New Day Rock. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 more for ya.
Tweet us using the handle @HeelToTheFace.
Woo! Let's get ready to suck it!
The bell is rung, so let's step in the ring with your hosts, Paul, Brandon, and Jarod.
I might as well tag me up with my buddy from Syracuse.
It's the first week of July 2017, and the Heel to the Face podcast is on the air. We took a week off last week, but we are back, and we are ready for the summer. Great Balls of Fire this upcoming Sunday night, and a big week of Raw, SmackDown, and I'm even going to touch on some New Japan Pro Wrestling and Slammiversary this week, as it's been a very busy week in the world of professional wrestling, as we are joined this week, as always, with Brandon the Icebreaker Clements. You can find him at Icebreaker21 on Twitter. Paul Boy Green Esden, you can find him at BoyGreen25, and myself, Jarod, Just Jarod Wicks. And let's start with what everybody in this room is familiar about. Let's start with the Raw, the go-home show before Great Balls of Fire this week. Brandon, are you excited for Great Balls of Fire?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I didn't have you there for a second. Yes, I am actually. I'm actually somewhat thrilled. I mean, I'm looking forward to that Brock Lesnar Samoa Joe scenario, but Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, I think that'll be good. I'm actually, the match that I'm really, really looking forward to is the Enzo and Cass. I think that has potential to be a very good match. I mean, they know each other. They're, former tag team partners. I mean, I think, I got to tell you, we'll get to Raw a little bit more later, but, kind of touch on it. I have to say, Enzo cut one of the best promos I've seen in a long time. I thought that was by far his best promo that he's ever cut, and he's cut a lot of good ones. So, I'm pretty hyped about the Enzo and Cass match. Where do you guys stand?
Paul, are you taking the Enzo and Cass over the promo that was the rap battle of New Day and Usos on SmackDown? Oh, do we have Paul? Sounds like silence on that end. So, let me ask you, Brandon, are you going to take exactly what I just said, the Enzo promo over the Enzo and Cass promo? Or, sorry, the Enzo promo versus the Usos and New Day rap battle on SmackDown, because that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. That's why I just wanted to kind of throw that out there before we even really get into much to Raw. I watched that very recently. I watched it right before I came here. I didn't watch it live on Tuesday night, and I just thought that was amazing.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was, I'll be honest, the Usos were really honestly, the Usos won that battle, in my opinion. I don't know where you stand on that, but the Usos definitely won that battle. I thought they killed it. I thought some of the New Day, I'm not a big New Day person anyways, but I'm putting my hat on where I'm not, so biased, so to speak. I didn't think New Day's, their battle. When they battled back, I didn't think it was that great, to be honest with you. I thought it was kind of cheesy.
I thought the Usos definitely won the battle.
But look at Wale. Wale loves the New Day, so they won by default. There was a little bit of a. I wanted to see more of that. I thought they'd go back and forth another round or two. I was hoping, man. That was. Yeah, I'm glad
that Wale was introduced a bunch of times, because going back to WrestleMania time, there was actually a tweet that I put out because the entire time that he's ever been in WWE or had any association with professional wrestling, I've always thought his name was pronounced Whale. So Wally, it was nice to hear that said a bunch of times so that I can get used to that. So maybe next year, if he's involved in WrestleMania somehow, then, I'll know how to pronounce his name. He did a good job for MC. I'm not too familiar with his music, but either way, I thought it was, the New Day didn't do that well, but it overall was very entertaining.
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining, but the Usos, I'm not surprised with the Usos. Watching how they interact and how their new gimmick is, you would hope they would dominate, because their gimmick kind of, you would think, okay, the Usos, the gimmick they have now, this different style they're in, not the face paint. One would assume in this situation that you think they would dominate it, and they did. I mean, I think they did a very good job. I mean, the New Day. I mean, I will say this: the highlight of that was when they dropped the Xavier Woods rated R reference. I thought that was fantastic. I started laughing.
That's when it really kicked into high gear. I mean, that's when I wanted that. I was kind of watching, and then I saw that, and then all of a sudden I dropped everything, and I just was like, I'm not going to fast forward any bits of this. I'm going to watch this in its entirety now.
Yeah, it was good.
That was great. And speaking of entertaining, I was really entertained by not just the match, but the going back to Raw now, the entire segment with Miz, Heath Slater, and Dean Ambrose. I enjoyed that match. I enjoyed that segment. I enjoy Heath Slater a lot. Heath Slater is kind of, to me, like Heath Slater and Rhino are like the Monday Night Raw version of what's it? Why is the name? It's Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
Oh, the Fashion Files, the Fashion Police.
Yeah, I think that they're kind of that comic relief. You want to see him compete, but most importantly, you want to see him come down to the ring with a mic or in the back with a mic. And I think they're the Raw version of that. And very entertained by, Heath Slater coming out. It was a great match we had with The Miz. It was just overall a very entertaining segment.
I will say this: Heath Slater's, in my opinion, I don't see him being a WWE Universal Champion by any means. But I think he does a hell of a job. I mean, I think he cuts halfway decent promos. I think he does a halfway decent job in the ring. I mean, I'm wondering when they're going to really push him out. I mean, push him as a singles competitor. I don't see him being, the Universal Champion, but I could see him. This would have been a perfect title for him. I mean, not now with the way the Miz is on fire right now. You don't want to lose that. But I think going forward, having him as a Universal Champion or United States Champion, or an Intercontinental Champion, I think that would be a good way to go.
So let's now, we keep jumping back and forth, and I think it makes for more interesting than just staying with Raw, staying with SmackDown. So now we're on Raw. Now we're back to SmackDown. You just mentioned U.S. Champion. We have a new number one contender for the U.S. Championship. It's AJ Styles. He won the Battle Royal in the main event, the Independence Day Battle Royal in the main event of SmackDown to become the number one contender for the U.S. Championship. He had to win a qualifying match earlier in the night against Chad Gable. He did that. I was kind of disappointed because I know that you're a big Perfect 10 guy.
I was hoping he'd win, man.
Ty Dillinger.
He was there.
And I was actually kind of rooting for him. We talk about these new guys. We talk about the Jinder Mahal getting in the mix. I was kind of in tune with Ty Dillinger winning this and becoming the number one contender.
For a second, I thought he had it. I mean, I for a split second, I'm like, oh, wait, is he actually going to do this? I was hoping, obviously. And, I'm not surprised. I mean, okay, AJ Styles, I love AJ. That's my guy. I have, I have his ringtone as one of my text things. And, I'm a huge fan and got his merch. But this has been played out for me, man. I think they need to get some fresh blood against Kevin Owens. Who I wanted to see, honestly, to win this was Harper. That's who I wanted.
We haven't seen a lot from him in a while. I'll admit that.
Why not? He's good.
I don't know why not. They were pushing him real hard. I mean, let's remind everybody, he was very close. I mean, let's look at it from obviously the scripted perspective, but he was very close to main eventing WrestleMania instead of Randy Orton, or at least being involved in the match somehow. And since then, he's kind of fallen off. And they haven't used him in the way that we thought they were going to use him. They haven't been pushing him in the way that we thought they were going to be pushing him. This was a chance for them to. I wouldn't even. I don't even think this would have been a push. I think he's already there. He's already at a spot where he should be number one contender for the U.S. title. It wouldn't be like a Ty Dillinger push where he's kind of being put in a new spot. This would be a spot that he's like kind of falling out of. I don't know what the deal is with Luke Harper. I don't know if.
Is he in the doghouse?
I don't know if the complete with Bray Wyatt over on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if that's taken a lot of steam away from him. I thought it was going to help him out.
Yeah, why would it? I mean, here's my thing. I don't think he needs Bray Wyatt to stand on his own, on his own 2 feet and do his thing. I think he does very well as a singles competitor. That's where I'm at. I mean, why not push the guy? Maybe not give him the heavyweight championship, the Universal Championship, any of those titles. But Intercontinental or a United States title, I think, would be a perfect belt to put on a guy like Luke Harper. Maybe he needs to work on promos more. I don't know. I mean, I thought he did a halfway decent job when he's done some promos. I mean, he does great in the ring. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen there. But yes, I have to say that Ty Dillinger being there at the end, that was, you know me, I'm a perfect 10 guy. That was too much of a teaser. I got really excited for a split second, and then he gets knocked out of the ring.
Are you excited for the return of Rusev on Tuesday Night SmackDown? It wasn't just a return of John Cena that was publicly advertised for about 2 months. Rusev made everybody aware of that when he made his return this past Tuesday as well on SmackDown, that he's been out for quite a while. His return wasn't as highly publicized, but he's back, and now at Battleground, I was going to call it Backlash, but at Battleground on July the 23rd, it's going to be John Cena versus Rusev in a flag match.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I feel like we've seen that before. This feels like a 2014 match to me.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe 2015, because that was about the time that they were.
I thought it was odd
meeting at WrestleMania.
Why are we having this feud with Rusev and John Cena? Why don't we put John Cena with somebody else? I mean, where I was thinking, I thought he was going to go in the Jinder Mahal direction.
He made this big statement at the start of SmackDown about how he's after everybody and he's hungrier than ever and he's going to go after championships and this, that, and the other thing. And then he puts himself in a flag match, which to me should have been probably the main event of that SmackDown, main event of a house show. But either way, it's going to be
a pay-per-view match.
But
not to build it up.
Hopefully, this is setting him up for something better at SummerSlam. I hope it's not a rematch with a Rusev in a different kind of match.
I hope not.
But really, where do you think they could put John Cena right now? I mean, you obviously have everybody in the championship contender spots. He's a free agent, so he can go to Raw or SmackDown. What would be a good fit right now for John Cena?
Honestly, I mean, we've already seen him, the whole Miz thing, that's played out, so I don't see him doing anything with the Intercontinental title. I could see them revitalizing that Kevin Owens, John Cena thing. Maybe he wins the United States champion. I thought maybe if it wasn't Jinder Mahal, I thought maybe he was going to go after Kevin Owens. Maybe, I mean that's where I see it. I think they're really using this Jinder Mahal thing a little bit. I think, like I said, like I've been saying to you guys, the past couple weeks, I think Jinder's going to be the champion through summer. I really do. I think with you can't discount the fact that they're going to be doing live shows in India, which is where he is billed from. So I mean, I could see John Cena and Kevin Owens. Maybe they set something up there. Maybe they plant the seeds. Maybe some. Right after the Rusev thing, maybe something happens there. I don't mind seeing John. I think John Cena as a United States champion. I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah, you know where I really see John Cena, but I don't see it right now because of the fact that they're trying to, I think, hold it off. I think the big thing for John Cena is the look ahead to John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Now, we obviously thought that was going to be SummerSlam. I think now that it's not SummerSlam, they might be pushing it towards WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But originally I thought it was going to be SummerSlam, so that's the only thing I could really see John Cena doing that's kind of new and fresh, is having a rivalry with Roman Reigns. But, other than that, we've seen him versus AJ Styles. We've seen him versus, like you said, we've seen him versus The Miz. We've seen him versus Brock Lesnar. Maybe Samoa Joe or something like that, maybe after a number one contender match if Samoa Joe loses this weekend.
I could see Samoa Joe. I think that would be fresh blood between the two. I mean, I think that would be cool. Whether I see it happening or not, I don't. I think they might play this Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I mean, where I stand with this Brock Lesnar Samoa Joe thing, which we'll get to later, I think it's going to be a one and done type of match. I don't see it prolonging into SummerSlam, to be honest with you.
No, I see Brock Lesnar having a new opponent at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So my thing with John Cena, he's a free agent, but he's booked for a match 3 weeks at Battleground in Philadelphia. So that's a SmackDown only pay-per-view. So I'm assuming until at least then he's going to be a SmackDown property, and he's going to be on SmackDown, not Raw, every week until after the pay-per-view. Do you see him going both shows before then?
I could see it. I could honestly see it. Just for maybe a ratings boost. I could see it from that perspective. But I mean, from a creative perspective, I think SmackDown is where he needs to be for a little while. But I could see them saying, "Oh, advertising John Cena is on Raw for the first time since this day or whatever." Maybe they hype it up to get some ratings up. That I could see that. But I think going forward, I think SmackDown is where he's going to be for a little bit.
Well, this past Sunday night, a big event in the world of professional wrestling outside of WWE. I don't know how it's survived. It's like a cockroach, but TNA, Impact Wrestling, Now GFW Impact Wrestling, I don't know how it survived, but Slammiversary 15